Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 20 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. That was a tongue twister. Wanted to jump into my apiary here real quick and check out and notify you guys that I just got myself some cultivated drones. These guys are another progress up the line. As you can see, there's a bunch of different things you can get from cultivated drones. So the meadows and the common drones can get some cool stuff going on, but the cultivated ones really have a lot of options available to them. So I'm going to start off at least first by breeding myself some more cultivated drones and princesses. So this will help me, pretty much maintain my stock of cultivated guys there. And this guy over here was a forest cultivated princess. So I'm going to go ahead and combine those two and see if I get any good stuff. Cool, another cultivated queen. Perfect. That's what I was hoping for. I believe cultivated is a more dominant gene than the other ones, so that's good. I'll start getting some stuff. I also tweaked my chest here. I'm putting all full breed drones in the first page, so you can see these are all common, meadows, forest, common, all straight up normal. And these guys in the second page are drones that are like merged, two different races. So I just want to give you the heads up there. So I'm going to let my queens do their thing here, and I'll continue playing around, and I'll be back in a few minutes. There's a couple things I want to get to today. I think it's time for me to start doing some geothermal energy from industrial craft. Wanted to make sure I had enough power to start utilizing all this good scrap that I've been producing. My quarry is stopped at the moment, so I'm probably going to turn this thing off for now. There might be one little tweak I want to add to this system, but we'll see. Something I had in mind. We'll see what happens in a few. But for now, let me get situated and I'll be back. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is go over here and check out my antimatter relay. How am I doing? Oh wow, look at all that EMC I've got built up in there now. I'm going to let that charge into my Klein star, at least a good amount. I want to get about 100k in there, just to make sure I have a solid amount. Notice now that I'm getting a lot more EMC since I upgraded to that tier 3 collector thingy. That thing really produces a lot more power. I think it produces double what a tier 2 does, so yeah, definitely a good investment to upgrade that guy. Just checking in on my logistics pipes over here. Everything looks cool. I'm going to head downstairs. I'm trying to decide exactly where I want to build this geothermal room. I'm thinking I might want it to be underneath this room, but I'm not 100% sure yet. So for now, let me think it over for a minute and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm thinking I want to stick with underneath this thing, and what I'm going to do is just drill a hole in the wall right there. That looks like a nice spot. And for temporary reasons, I'm going to place some blocks right here just to make sure no enemies can get in my house. And now I'm going to dig down a little bit. Let's check this out. Cool. That looks good. Might be good doing that. Let's see. How good is this now? It's going to be kind of tricky to build this thing out just yet because I don't really have any good ways of getting around. But if I have my height, just kind of digging out the floor here, I'm about 2 blocks below the surface. I want to just make sure that everything over here is going to be cool with that. I might need to go a little bit deeper. Let's go about 3 or 4 blocks below the surface. And it's probably going to get a little dark soon, so I'm going to try and avoid that too much. So that should be good right there. So that's going to be where my ceiling is going to be. So maybe I want to go 1 block deeper. And that might be cool. Yep, I like the looks of that. So for the next few minutes, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time tidying up this area, digging it out. Of course, I'm going to grab my handy destruction catalyst, which is definitely going to be a big help by doing that. Wahaha. And then I can clearly see how well I made out with this. I'm just going to dig out a big open area here. This is kind of going to be my underground work area for now. I should also build myself a few ladders just so I can get in and out of this area nice and quick and easy. So I'll do that as well. And I'll be right back in a few minutes once I'm ready. Alright guys, just dug out a bit of terrain here. Going to start clearing out the ceiling. I'm judging that about 2 clicks worth of this thingy should get me what I need. And if I just put this guy here for now, that'll get me through. Hey, that looks pretty good. So that's what I'll be doing for the next few minutes, is just clearing out the ceiling. And of course, an alternate way to do it would just be like this. Sweet. And it looks like I did clip a little bit of wiring here, didn't I? Whoops. Yeah, I clipped out some wiring. Just one block too high. So let me get up there and fix that a little bit off camera. All I'm going to be doing is repairing that redstone wire that I just snipped. And like I said, I'll be back in a moment. Alright guys, looks like I made out pretty well here. Wow, that honey bread is really good at feeding me. Where am I at? I am grabbing my Philosopher's Stone. Just upgrading it one little bit. There we go. What happens if I use this stuff on gravel? Oh, neat. Alright, good to know. Just curious, that's all. And let's get this floorboard cleaned up a little bit. Don't forget to shift click to convert dirt into cobble. That'll work. Beautiful. Alright, let's start building some cool stuff down in this room. Alright, so I've got this nice fancy room down here, and the first thing I want to do is get rid of these ladders. Ladders are not cool. I do not like ladders. There's nothing technological and awesome about ladders. Alright, maybe a little bit technological, but definitely not awesome, that's for sure. So why don't we go get crafting on some cool items that are going to help me get rid of this ladder. And this is a brand new mod, totally new, never used before by Direwolf. It's time for me to check out. Dun 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 dun. The laser mod. Woot. So first off, I need to build a laser. And to do that, I need some smooth stone and some glass, and I need this ruby thingy right here. And a ruby is crafted like so, some glass in the middle, some redstone. So let's see, how am I for glass? Good. Smooth stone, good. Let's get ourselves some redstone. And the other thing I'm going to need in a moment here, and I'm just going to check out the recipe now, is called a lens bench. And that guy is right here. I'm going to need 4 pieces of iron. Shouldn't be too hard to get my hands on some of that stuff. So just grab 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Nice. Alright, so let's get to crafting. What do you say? I'm going to run over here, and how did an Enderman get in my house? Seriously, dude? How did you get in here? That is not cool. I did not invite you in. I really don't know how that happened. Interesting for sure. Neat. Totally new to me. Don't think I've ever had that happen. Let's sleep through this night real quick, and then we'll get ready for this lens bench and all this cool laser stuff that we want to do. Alright, daytime, hooray. Gonna have to figure out how that happened at some point, I guess. So yeah, what did we want to craft? A crafting table, didn't we? And let's go ahead and drop this guy in here. Now I'm gonna need, like I said, some of these ruby thingies. I need to clear this thing off. There we go. In order to do that, it's just redstone all around glass, and you get some rubies. Hooray! And again, I just need to place a ruby in the center here with a crafting table on top, some iron, and some smooth stone like so. And that gets me the lens bench. And this guy is going to help me pretty much do a whole bunch of cool stuff with lasers. As you can see, it's a neat little crafting table that I'll get to in a moment. Next up, I need to craft myself, as I showed you guys a moment ago, the laser itself. Which, if we remember the recipe, which I probably don't because my brain was reset when I saw a Enderman in my house. That's right. Ruby and then glass on the right. Cool. I think I can remember that for the next 3 seconds. Ruby and then glass on the right. Nice and easy. So that gets me a laser. And what's a laser do? Lasers are pretty simple and straightforward devices, not terribly complex or anything, but definitely very cool. The most basic form of the laser, and why don't I bring it into this room and show it to you, is when you apply a redstone signal, it shoots out this little white beam of light. And if I step in front of the white beam of light, you probably can't see it too clearly because I have a white floor here, which is probably a terrible place to demo this, but basically it interrupts the beam of light. And that's what your basic laser does. But there's a bunch of lens upgrades, and if we look up lenses in here, you can see there's all kinds of cool colors. NEI doesn't really seem to like lenses too much, because they're probably coated with damage values and stuff. So I'll show you the basic lens design. First off, to craft a lens that's going to go on one of these lasers, you need to have a border around the lens. And all you have to do to get a border is put something in this top block. It could be cobblestone, and you only need 1 block of it, but I'm going to go with smooth stone just to make it look nice. And you need a piece of glass in the middle. That's all you need for your basic white lens. Now, the next couple things we can add to this lens will increase the power of the lens. And pretty much what that means is... did I just pick up my items again? Okay, I guess I can't leave stuff in that table. Good to know. Changing what the lens does is done with the modifications there. So why don't I get some items and we'll start tweaking the lens properties. Alright, so now that I've got the items I need, let's go ahead and place some stone in this table. Now there's a bunch of things you can put along in here to change the properties of this lens. First off, I'm going to change the color of the lens to make it cyan. Okay, and what this does is instead of just being a white beam, it's going to be a cyan beam. And the cyan beam will pull objects and players and enemies towards the lens. However, I don't think I want to pull, I want to push. And in order to do that, I need to place an ender pearl inside this line here. And that's going to change it to a stone cyan advanced lens. And pretty much what an advanced lens does is it kind of changes the properties. So in this case, it changes for cyan. Instead of doing a pull, it's going to do a push because I used an ender pearl. There's a bunch of different lenses and a bunch of different tweaks that the ender pearl makes on those lenses. And we're going to get into some of them in the future. I could put a glowstone block in there, and that'll increase the range of the beam, because right now the beam has a maximum range, but I think I have enough. So instead what I'm going to do here is place 2 rubies in here. Now that increases the power, and you can't really see it here on my interface, but if I move this guy down here, you can see now that I've got a stone cyan advanced lens with a power of +4. Pretty much your power level adjusts the properties of the beam. In this case, it pretty much determines how fast you're going to be pushed away from the laser beam. So +4 power means you're being pushed further than if it were a basic one without any plus. And it can go all the way up to +9, I want to say. These guys give you +2 power. Simple redstone gives you +1 power, and diamonds would give you +3 power. But I didn't want to use any diamonds on this just yet. So now let's go chopping down this stuff. Get all this ladder boringness out of here. Oh, almost. And yeah, I know, I'm using a sword to knock off my ladders. My sword will be fine. I have plenty. A couple people posted comments saying, hey, why are you using a sword when you have a chainsaw? I don't know. I like the swords. I think they're cool. That's all I have to say. I have no better explanation. Alright, so I'm going to place down my laser. And like I said, will this work? No. There we go. So now it's just a simple white beam, and like I said, when I step in front of it, it disables the beam. Nothing too fancy about that. But if I take my stone cyan advanced lens like that, and now I step on the beam, look at that, I get shot upwards and deposited right here. And look, the length is perfect. Wow, that is like a super duper perfect length right there. Couldn't have asked for anything better. So my only problem right now is I can't get back down. So I am going to have to temporarily dig my way back down. Let's close this wall up. So again, just a temporary problem. I'm going to resolve that shortly. Basically what I'm going to do is make this a button push system that will do some kind of magical redstone stuff that I haven't quite figured out yet. Look at that. Woot, that's fun. That's like the perfect length too, because it drops me right where I want to be, right at the top of this line. I couldn't ask for a better length than that. That was totally by luck. Alright, where was I at? Yeah, that's right. I want to make this a push button system so that I can step in here, press a button, and then whoosh, I get shot up, and this thing would automatically turn off in a moment or two. So let's figure out exactly what we need to do that. Alright guys, so I think I've got a design in my head that should work here. So I'm going to need 2 stone, 3 of the wires, 2 of those little thingies. So let's go over here and start crafting. So I'm going to need... I'm just going to make a bunch of these things for now. That's probably a good plan for this little table thingy. And let's see, what else do I want to do? Some of these. That's probably a good idea. Why not? Some of these. That should be good. And I think that's, you know what, I do also need some smooth stone real fast here. Where's my smooth stone at? Gonna have to grab some out of my transmutation table for now. I forgot about the pointers. Those guys are definitely important. Let's grab another stack of cobble. I always like to have some cobble on me. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not, but it's great for just doing whatever. Alright, throw this guy in there, and we'll do this. Why not? Stone pointers. All right, cool. So that gets me everything I need down here. Except that that's not what I wanted. Probably not going to need that many stone pointers, but we'll be all right for now. So again, this recipe here was stone wafers on the top, the 3 there, and that thingy. Okay, cool. So one of these here, one of these there, these guys, and this. That gets me a timer. Sweet. Okay, and the other thing I wanted to get was a toggle latch. And a toggle latch is basically 2 cathodes on the top, 2 wires on the sides, and a lever in the middle. So let's get myself a lever here and do that. And something like this. And that. There's a toggle latch. Awesome. Nice. I like it. And everything about it. Next up, I've got some red alloy wiring here. I've got my button ready. So let's go down there and start messing around with some wiring. And this is the basic setup I'm going to do. I'm going to dig right behind this wall. And you guys might, if you're paying attention, notice that this also shoots items up in the air. Just keep that in mind, because there's all kinds of neat stuff we can do with this laser mod. So what I think I want to do is have a button right here on this guy. And I don't know if that's going to be a problem or not. It might block my laser. Yeah, it does. Okay. So where can I place this button thingy? Knowing that my button just went all the way up in the air. Let's see. Where do I want to place this? Alright, I guess right here is probably as good a place as any, so that'll be good. So I'll dig this little wall out here. And basically the way I want this to work, it's really pretty simple, to be honest with you. And I just want to make sure that this wiring and whatnot is not a problem for anything that I'm about to do. So I want to make sure this runs off in this direction. And this thing right here. Okay, so where was I? That's right. So I want this button pushed to turn this guy on for just a brief moment. And this is actually pretty simple to do. I'm just going to place down my toggle latch like so. Now I need my screwdriver, I think. So where's that guy at? Somewhere in here, I'm sure. There it is. That'll work, just like that, right? So when I push my button, it's going to emit its redstone signal to here. So let's run our wiring like this and see if that's enough redstone signaling to turn on my block. No, it is not. So what I want to do is dig down. Is that enough? Nope. How about there? There we go. Perfect. So that's going to turn on and off, right? But I don't want this thing to just turn on and off with the button press. I only want it to stay on for a few seconds. And that's where my next thing comes in. I'm going to place down this timer like so, right there. But I don't want this thing running constantly. I want them to run like this. There we go. So notice what's happening now. If I go ahead and push my button, it automatically turns off after 2 seconds. How neat is that? So basically what's happening here is this toggle latch is getting flipped, and it's turning off this redstone wire, which allows the timer to run. And the timer is set to run for 2 seconds. And at the end of that 2 seconds, the redstone pulse triggers the toggle latch, allowing the redstone signal to stop the timer again. So the timer only runs for 2 seconds after I press the button. You gotta love redstone. Let's turn this guy up to, let's say 3 seconds for now, and see how well it works. So now all I gotta do, and I can probably even cover up this wall nicely, I'm just gonna put some lights in here, and seal this wall up nice and smooth like. Can't even tell that there was anything there. So now all I gotta do is step in here and press the button, and whoosh, up I go. Just in time to get off for the thing to turn off. So I don't know if 3 seconds was quite long enough. Let's maybe bump that up to 4. I just barely made it. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. So let's try it now with a 4-second button press. Not bad. I like it. So that looks pretty cool to me. I can now go ahead and cover this guy back up like it was. And maybe even just for the outside look of this, I'm going to cover it up like so. Nice. I'll be back in a few minutes once I've made a few tests of the system just to make sure everything's nice and smooth. Alright, so I've got one more thing to deal with here, aside from the fact that this is dirt, and I'll probably clean it up pretty soon. Don't worry, I know you guys get all OCD about that almost as much as I do. Just cleaning that up real fast. Alright, not quite as fast as I had hoped. Oh, well, I'll clean it up off camera. Anyway, the problem is, as you just saw, when I jumped down here, I took damage. Not ideal. Not ideal in the least. So what I'm going to do to resolve that is grab some iron ingots here. And I think I'm storing my obsidian right here. That should be good. Get out my handy crafting table. And if I place some iron ingots along the side here like this, and some obsidian here like that, I get a Longfall boot. Sweet. And as we all know, my avatar Steve here has 2 legs, so I need 2 Longfall boots. And if I combine those in a crafting table, I get the Longfall boot pair. This is a pretty neat item. It's part of the Portal Gun mod. Those of you who actually played Portal probably know that the main character of Portal wore boots to prevent her from taking damage when she was running around and doing her portal-y things that she did. So now, because I'm wearing these boots, I can jump straight down and not have to worry about any damage. These things do a pretty good job at protecting you from damage, and I can shoot my way right back up to the top here with the press of a button. I kind of like the looks of that. I think it's pretty slick. So the next thing I'm going to want to do here is pretty much build a nice little geothermal power station down underneath my main room. What a perfect opportunity to teach my chest here some pretty nice designs on how to make some of the cool stuff we need to make. So let's get ourselves, first off I want 2 automatic crafting tables. Request 2 of them please. And I'm also going to need a couple of logistics pipes. How am I for those things? Probably pretty low. So why don't I get one more of these and maybe teach it how to make logistics pipes. And I think in order to do that, I'm also going to have to teach it how to make redstone torches. So, my oh my, lots of logistics to go on here. Let's go ahead and see what I've got in here. Not much in the way of logistics pipes. So I'm going to need to request 2, or probably 4, gold gears. And I'm going to need some redstone, which I don't think I have any of on me. So let's get some of that. I'll get about 30 of them. That should be cool. So we should be getting a bunch of stuff flowing through our system here, all kinds of crafting and whatnot going on. Beautiful. It still is a wonderful sight to behold. So got my gold gears, got some redstone coming, auto crafting table. Thought I requested a couple more of those guys, but that's alright. I'll request them again. 2, please. That's right, they probably self-supplied themselves. And then let's start setting these guys up. Alright, just crafted up a basic logistics pipe here. I'm going to need at least 4 of these crafting logistics pipes, and I got a couple extra pieces of glowstone here just in case. I got my 2 automatic crafting tables from there, so let's lay these guys down. I'm going to place 1, 2, 3, 4. This one I'll teach it how to make redstone torches. Nice and basic and simple. So we should be able to, if I grab my wrench here, place this guy like so, and teach it. Import, good. This guy we're going to go ahead and teach, and I'm going to need to request here another one of these diamond pipes. Now I'm not going to teach my system diamond pipes just yet, so I'm just going to have to rely on myself to make sure I have some diamond pipes in there every now and then. And you know, in the future, I'm sure I'll teach it how to craft them, but for now, I'm still a little bit low on diamonds, so I'm not a huge fan of, you know, using diamonds in automatic crafting tables just yet. But for now, go ahead and do this, that, and that. And that gets me my basic logistics pipe, so a couple people wanted me to do that. There you go. Now I know how to pull basic logistics pipe out of there. Next up, going to knock this thing off here and place this guy down. And what was I crafting? Oh, that's right. I need some refined iron and some tin, because I want to teach this thing how to make machines. So first off, let me get the resources I need. So I just threw some iron into my induction furnace here, and this thing should get pulled out and dump the iron straight into this chest here for my refined iron system. Perfect. Just manually doing this again, I need to eventually get a automatic crafting setup for smelting, which will be my iron ingots and all that cool stuff. But for now, I think I just need to do this stuff manually. So I'm going to grab about 8 of these guys. Request. And I'm going to need 4 tin, which I think I left back here. request. And how about copper cabling? Ooh, yeah, I think I need another automatic crafting table to teach this thing about copper cabling. That's probably a good idea. Alright, so I've got the components that I need here, made myself another couple of items. So first off, let's just give this guy a quick lesson on the machine block. Simple and straightforward, like so, import, good to go. Next up, we'll teach him how to make some rubber. And I don't know if I ever did this recipe for you guys on camera, but this is a quick shortcut to copper cabling instead of just doing the copper wires and then combining it with rubber. So we'll go ahead and teach it this guy here. Import, looking good. And finally, I'm going to need one of those, so let's request right now. We'll give it a little test, right? A little test run of 1 copper cables. And remember, the 1 copper cable is going to zip its way into there, and the excess 5 will slowly make their way over because they weren't necessarily needed. But we'll leave those excess 5 in there. Remember, that's kind of my overflow chest. And this is a nice, simple battery recipe. Beautiful. So now I can teach this thing all kinds of tricks. I'm going to import that. Nice. So let's give this guy a test. I'm going to request 8 batteries and 8 machine blocks. Let's see how well we make out. Request for that. And machine blocks, request. So look at all the fanciness happening there. It's grabbing everything it needs. And even making a few more cables now. And there will go all the items for the machine blocks. Beautiful. I'll be right back once I'm ready. And the last of the machine blocks is landing in my chest along with my rechargeable batteries. And of course, what I'm going to do with this now is combine them with a furnace. Real quick and easy. Just going to get myself 8 furnaces. And geothermal power is pretty awesome, if I do say so myself. There we go. 8 generators. Sweet. Let's get ourselves a few pieces of tin real quick. So where's my tin? That should be plenty. I don't even need that many, to be honest with you guys. I only need 1 set of these empty cells. And I believe the recipe is something like this. Where are we? There we go. So 2 empty cells in the middle, 4 pieces of glass for a total of 32. I'm going to need more of that stuff. And I needed some more refined iron. I needed 16 of them. So that should be good. And I'll put this back as well. So let me get myself some more glass, courtesy of cobblestone transmutation. That looks good. And we'll get to crafting. This guy here with these here. Ta-da! Geothermal generators. Awesome. Now I have a pretty neat design, I think, for geothermal generators. Let's jump down into our room here. Give me a moment and let me think about exactly how I want this laid out. And real quick, guys, I'm just showing you here, I decided to make 1 more generator. Now I need to upgrade this, of course, to a geothermal, which is something I almost forgot to do. So let's do that real fast. There we go. Grab the resources I needed ahead of time for the first time in my life. I was prepared for what I was about to do. Alright, 9 geothermal generators. Sweet. Alright, I'm going to run down here. I also lit up my room a little bit better because I wanted to make sure you guys could see all that was happening. Now what I think I want to do here is lay them out like so. I'm going to place them right here. So I'm going to place 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here. And then I'm going to go up just like that. And for now, I'm just going to place cobble up here. And this is why I decided to go with 9, because I'm going with this 3 design, just like that. And if you guys were paying attention when I did my Industrial Craft 2 spotlight for the latest changes in 1.1, you might know why I'm doing this pattern like so. But if you weren't paying attention, oh well, you're going to have to wait and see. And guys, one of the final things I'm going to do in this episode, basically, is get ready to store some energy. Now, I know what you're all about to say. Those of you who are really good with Industrial Craft should know the error I'm about to make here. I am about to make an MFE. And you should be saying, what? MFE? What are you talking about, Direwolf? You're about to produce more energy than your MFE can output. You're making the same mistake that you made last season. That's probably true. I am. But for now, I'm not going to worry too much about that just yet. Obviously, I'm not going to be using all that power just yet, and I don't want to spend 6 more diamonds. That's what it's going to request. 6 more diamonds and a lot more other resources, as a matter of fact, in order for me to get what I need for an MFSU. So for now, I'm just going to build an MFE with which to power this, or store the energy. And once I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. I'm sorry to say. Next episode, I'm going to come right back where I left off and head down and find a nice big lava lake. I've already found a couple while out mining, some really, really large lava lakes. And, so pretty much you guys are going to have to stay tuned for next episode when I really start implementing this lava system. I have a couple ideas on the ways I want to have this operate, but for now you're just going to have to sit tight and wait. So, sorry to say, this is a good wrapping up point for episode 20 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. As usual, I'm going to upload a world save at this point. You guys will be able to download this world save by following the link in the video description here. I made sure not to use any Industrial Craft version 1.65 changes because that's not public yet. So that's why I didn't do any of that stuff in this episode, even though I do have a copy of it and using it right now. So for now, I didn't use any of that so that you guys wouldn't have any problems when you downloaded my world save. So hope you guys enjoyed episode 20. Stay tuned for next time when I start producing some serious industrial craft energy using some lava. And I'll start putting all this wonderful scrap that I've collected to use, producing some UU matter in preparation for a quantum suit. So this is Direwolf20 signing off. Take it easy.